Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Wow, you guys look like supermodels.
You starting out wrong already.
Usually that's a good thing.
There we go. I had to push one more button so you guys could hear me.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you didn't say anything.
I turned on the video, but you have to actually join audio on your phone. You know, I normally do this on my laptop. So
Right.
Okay. That's what I'm using, my laptop.
Yeah, me too.
hello, Mr. Riviera.
You have to learn all this tech stuff.
COVID forced us to.
I guess it's a good thing.
Yeah, it allows us to meet in the rain and we don't have to leave our homes.
Ain't
I
that
mean,
the truth?
it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking at the trees in the window. They're blowing kind of
Me too.
rough there.
Yeah, it's getting ugly. Oh, I need to give you access because you're gonna be sharing, right?
Yeah, I sent you some plans just in case I couldn't figure out how to share a screen.
No, we're gonna make you share right now. Now you see that little button there? You're on your
Green thing?
on your PC. So you should have a button down at the bottom that says share screen in the green.
Yes. Let me try
Okay.
that. Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. I hit share. Let's see. Files. How do I get to my computer stuff? Let's see.
Okay, so you should have a screen where it should say one option is share all,
Okay.
and then you'll be able to go wherever you want to go. So if your files, or if you have the file up, you can actually share just that if you want to do that.
Okay.
You see it?
I see basic, and then it says advanced, and then it says files.
Well,
Maybe
where is it? Is it in files?
It's just in my memory of my Apple thing.
Okay, let me stop sharing. Let me show you something. Okay, so when you go to let's see,
Can you
share
pull up
screen.
the stuff that I sent you?
Did you send me other than that one page? Is that
I
what
just-
we're talking about?
At 6:16.
Oh, he
Yes.
did. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I've been back on my computer. Hold on a sec.
If you could do it, it's probably more efficient because I'm not that tech savvy. I should be, but we didn't have computers when I was in college.
You don't look that old. Stop it.
Well, I'm 62. It's old enough. The computer was as big as a room with cards.
You're right. Floppy disk.
Yes.
Woodstock. I'm looking at the concept document.
That's probably the best place to start. And then
Which one? I got it now. What do you want? What do you want to share first?
if you could
Here,
do
let me wait a minute. Hold on. Let me share my screen. That'll work.
Sure.
Let me share my
There's a
screen.
big one that shows all of Marlton. That's probably a better way to start, so you get a better overview of where we are in that world. I meant to practice this earlier, but I didn't.
Oh, so this is practice for you. I get it.
No. But every time I go to a Zoom meeting, they all do it.
That's the way to do it.
I know.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, darling.
Look at all
Okay.
the things.
Yes. Those are all NNA things. Believe it or not.
Ooh.
Maybe a couple things of mine, but mostly that. I've been trying to get rid of them. There we go.
So while she's pulling up the information.
Now, which one did you want?
The far left.
Far left. Okay.
That
The
one.
plan.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect. See what it pulls up.
I'm still thinking about it. Okay. That's weird. Okay, let's try that again. It's a PDF. It should come right up. Where is it?
Yeah, I don't know why.
You know, what you call it acts real funky sometimes. Okay, open.
Huh, usually loads up pretty quick.
Yeah, unless that
Or
is really strange. Hold on a second. Let me see if all of these are like that.
But they show up as PDFs on your system.
Yeah. Okay, so that pops
Oh.
up.
Well, that's
Okay.
that's at least good.
What was that? Was a concept. What is this? Picture.
That's probably a good overview as well. That's
Okay, so that first one doesn't have anything on it, is what it's showing.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but we can start with this one.
Okay, let me make it bigger.
Okay.
Here.
There we go. So we're in that circle where the property I'm talking about is.
Mm-hmm.
So just to start, that's great.
Okay.
So my name is Norman Rivera. I'm an attorney that's been working here in Prince George's County since the 80s. In fact, I worked for Prince George's County government, park and planning, went to law school, lived in the county, blah, blah. Went to Maryland. My son went to Maryland. And a client of ours, mine, bought this property, West Marlton and all Marlton, way back in 1986.
Okay.
This is a gossip tidbit. The broker was Larry Hogan Jr., who's now the governor.
The broker?
Right. So he sold this property, most of what you see there. But the Marlton area was actually rezoned RPC way back in 1969. And it's only one of two in Prince George's County. The other one is Old Greenbelt. So it's kind of a unique zone. And it divided up all of Marlton and all these subset zones with different designations. So some are apartments, single family, townhouses, commercial, et cetera. And there's a general plan called an official plan, and then the other plans that follow. So what you see in the blue is probably the largest undeveloped piece that's left in what they call West Marlton. And West and East Marlton is divided by that rail line and Pepco, which is directly to the right, east. So that's all East Marlton. There's nothing there in terms of development. There are houses all along Croom Station Road, all over there. But West Marlton is the part that developed first and where you all live. And Heathermore Boulevard is essentially the spine road that bisects West Marlton, as you know, at the light, which comes directly across the site. And way back when, the only access to Marlton was North Marlton Avenue.
Really?
Believe it or not, where that gazebo is.
Yes.
Come down 301. It's the grade separated median break, so pretty dangerous. You have to make a U-turn. And then right there into North Marlton, and then find your way back to where you lived in Marlton. So when my guy bought it, and to do more development, there's always a traffic test. So once you reach a certain threshold, then you have to build more roads. So hence, we had to build the 4-lane road of Heathermore, called an arterial road with lights and everything, which made it a lot more safe. So that you can go in and out, make lefts and rights and all that good stuff. So when you come in Heathermore Boulevard, as you well know, what is it? Woodstock Drive East is where the left is to go to those townhouses right in the circle. And where it says LAC and R30 is where our property is.
Mm-hmm.
So everything around us is all townhouses towards the rail line above
Mhm.
us. And then across the street, there are apartments that are there. So that's the general location. And the property is about 28 acres total of two zones, LAC, which is Local Activity Center, and R30. So R30 is a fairly dense zone that allows apartments and townhouses. LAC is a shopping center zone, which
That's what
also
I thought.
Local Activity Center. So one time, a long, long time ago, it was supposed to be a big shopping center there, but it just never came to fruition. And because there's Marlton Plaza out front, on 301, as you know, all the stuff up and down 301 at Route 4, there was never really a market for it. And, the retail market is not really good if you build something that's kind of hidden in the middle. And nobody wanted it that lived in Marlton, because there'd be more traffic, more this and more that, and you can go within a couple miles away to get that kind of stuff.
Right.
So it just laid fallow for all these years. So my client had put it under contract, and they just wanted to develop townhouses there, which is basically what's all around it. So it would be the same type of density. It's about 7.5 units per acre, which is what everything else is average over there. And it's all townhouses. And this is just the very first step in the process. So we don't like to do anything without alerting people. So I had a conversation with Sydney Harrison, your county council person, his chief of staff, Eric, and also with Mel Franklin. He's the council member at large, who actually gave me your contact info.
Yeah, he lives here. Yeah.
Yeah, he said he doesn't live there anymore, I think.
Oh, he moved? Okay.
But he did live there a long time, so that's why I knew to call him. And so he gave me your information, because there used to be the Citizens Association of Marlton.
Right.
And on your website, which is a really good website, in your newsletter, you list Marlton 100 and all the different various little HOAs. But you gotta have sort of an overall thing, otherwise you lose touch with the whole picture.
Right.
It's good that you have that.
That's the whole purpose.
Yes, definitely. Because I can't, or nobody can chase every little person. At least you could say you reached the majority of the people. So what I just wanted to do is broach this to you to say, we're in the very first step, because the old plan from way back in 1969 said it's supposed to be a shopping center and apartments, which doesn't really work. And it's not the fabric of the community.
No.
The only apartments are there that are across the street, but I think they're the only ones in that
They
general
are.
area.
Mm-hmm.
And I represented a guy that was across the street where it says R18 to the right, that picture below the blue R30, and that is
Right here?
just below that, the
Oh,
brown.
below.
Yeah, that brown, a little higher up where it says R.
Right here?
No. To
Left.
the left.
Oh, left. I'm
Below the
sorry.
blue, just
It's
below
by
that.
the circle. It's to the right of the circle. Go over to the right of the circle, down a little, right down, right there.
Oh, okay.
Right. So that allows for elderly housing. So we had a project proposed to do seniors apartments there. So that would be the only other multifamily component, but that was approved way back in 2000 or so. And we just could never get the financing for it. And it's still possible it could go townhouses or elderly housing or something else that's permitted. But that would be the only other multifamily kind of product in the whole Marlton community, because it's mostly more suburban. So this is the area that is the center of Marlton, if you will. And all we want to do is do what's all around us just to fit in. And the first step is what we call an official plan amendment. So this picture in front of you is what the county has on their approval books, is what the zoning and land uses are. So before, as I said, is supposed to be apartments and shopping, then you have to file a request to change it from apartments and shopping to townhouses. So that's basically an application with the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. It's called an official plan amendment because this is an official plan. And the main criteria to approve it is it within the density limitations of overall Marlton, which it is. And secondly, is the use compatible with what's all around it? And it's all townhouses around it, essentially, and that's what we're proposing. So I think we can meet those criteria, but we still have to run it by you because it's been like open area for decades.
At
And
least 22 years.
yes, so that's been a long time. You can't just start doing stuff there. Everybody's going to freak out. So I wanted to make sure that we had some communication, get your input, answer any questions. We don't have a builder yet, but it would be a really good builder. Well, the ones that you see in the area now have been built a long time ago. So the newer product, as you see when you go around the county and wherever, it's going to be like that 20-foot wide towns, lots of fenestration, brick treatments, at least 1,800 to 2,400 finished square footage, which means it's not just a basement, it's, finished, painted and all that. 3 stories out of the ground with decks and all that, so that it's going to be commensurate what's around it and hopefully a benefit and amenity to whatever is around us. Also, we have to build our own little park system like tot lots, etc., trails and those things, and go through the whole development process, which is the first step is just to make sure we can actually do that use. So we have a concept plan that I sent you. We could go to that. Maybe that would be the next plan.
Okay.
To more specificity.
Which one is that?
The second one, you click that one.
Yeah, that one worked.
Mhm.
Okay.
There you go.
Now click it open.
So if you can make it a little bigger,
Yeah.
well, that's basically,
Okay, that's too big.
I don't want to say the eye of the hurricane. That's not good.
Come on and move. It's slow. Hang on a second. Why is it doing that? Okay. This is it down here, right? Yep.
Yes, everything in green and brown is what our site is. So once it loads up, you'll get to see the whole picture.
I'm gonna make it a little
Almost 90% of it. Yeah, maybe if you click negative again.
So is this community going to back up into the other townhome community?
Yes.
You see all around it, those are all townhouses. Those are what we call sticks of townhouses. So there's 4, 5, 6, 8 unit sticks. That's the name of the term. So you see the layout is sticks. So it looks just like what's around it. So we want to build townhouses near other townhouses. So everybody's going to be seamless. And there's a road network established, which you can see like on the right, it says Center Parkway. Yeah, there. So it'll all connect through.
And
So
what's this gonna be? Is this gonna be a road or is this gonna be tree?
That's Heathermore Boulevard that's there now.
Oh, that's just a street. So we'll lose all this green.
Well, everything that's in green on this picture is our property that can be developed, but there's still going to be landscaping and open space. So there's trees and stuff right now, but that will be graded, which is what everything was before it got developed. But that's the open area that you see today.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. The open area that we see today will now be townhouses.
Correct.
So these townhouses look like their parking is directly off of Heathermore Boulevard. There's not like an entrance into the community.
Now if you look at
That's right here.
See the road, like let's see the ones that are right on Heathermore. So they have driveways. Those are what they call rear loaded townhouses. So the fronts along Heathermore, you see the front doors of townhouses, but that gray road, they drive in the back into their garage. So each house has a garage. 2-car garage. There's no driveways or anything that go out on the road. The lines you see are lot lines, so your property
Yeah.
goes on the road. But that brownish stick is where the actual houses are. And then in the rear, there's
This right here?
Yeah, so if you pick any of those, in the back, there's a little line, that's where the garages go into the rear of those, right
And
off
back
that,
here?
the other side.
Oh, the other side, okay.
Yeah, those are little driveways, like, I don't know, I'll call them teeth. So little teeth, they go into the back of your unit. Just like just about every townhouse in the world.
So the front of the house is facing Heathermore. Okay,
Yeah. So you won't see a garage, which is kind of ugly. So you want to put the fronts of the houses that front the public road. So when you're driving by, all you see is fronts of people's houses. But once you drive in your own community, everybody goes to their own garage.
how many townhouses are these?
It'll be around 219. So that's the same density per acre, which is exactly what it is all around us, which is the max allowed by law, and it's a little less than that. There's a lot of green area there. There's like little fingers of stream valleys and stuff, and we have to do stormwater
But
management.
this,
Yes, that's a little stream valley. So you can't develop in that. So there's buffers.
in between,
Yes. So you can't develop that because it's environmentally protected. We wouldn't want to anyway, because then you would have flooding in your basement, et cetera. So
Right.
we stay on the high ground, stay up above it, and we stay to the good ground.
so all this is just townhouses, so they're not offering any amenities.
They're what?
There's no amenities, there's no pool, there's no rec room, there's no, just
Like there's a little park on the bottom right. There's a little open space area.
right here?
Yes. And then there's other little, it's too small a scale to show tot lots. But you can't have a community center or a pool or anything because 219 houses does not support it.
I got you, I'm just asking.
No, that's a good question because people ask
I'm
that.
sorry, I
Usually,
dropped out of that. What was the answer to the pools and amenities?
there's not going to be a community building or pool. It's just not enough units to support it because each homeowner would have to pay an extraordinary amount of dues to pay for it, unless you open it up to the whole community.
So there is an HOA coming with this.
Yes, every time you do a fee simple lot, you have to do an HOA. So they would be required to join your alliance and have their own internal HOA where they have their own HOA board and all that good stuff. So they monitor their green space. They have to maintain all that, dog stuff, parking, just like the other small communities in Marlton. Everybody has their own HOA. Whereas apartments, they're owned by the overall apartment company. They have a professional management group that runs their community building or rec room or whatever internal to the building.
Right.
But in fee simple townhouses or single family detached, you have an HOA. That's the traditional method that Maryland state law and everybody in the United States does, so that you have somewhat control over your own neighborhood. That's where
Right.
your covenants come in. Like we had a case where this one lady always wanted to have her door pink. You can't do that. We have it says right here, no pink door. I didn't say pink, but it said it has to
Right.
be like what everybody else does within a certain tolerance level. Otherwise, this is crazy. So
Right.
those are private covenants, conditions, and restrictions that you sign when you buy a home that says you have to abide by these XYZ rules.
Right.
Unless then the HOA or condo board can cite you or whatever or force it. Some people just don't pay attention. Like
Right.
some people build a deck without permission or whatever they do. So that's what the purpose of the HOA is, to keep people under control. And then if it gets beyond that, then the county has to take over. So we'll have an HOA, we'll contribute our fees. We would make them part of your alliance. So I'm not sure what the requirements are for that, but I told my client that there is this alliance and that we want to be part of the fabric. I saw you have a lot of events on your newsletter. Like I didn't know August was National Sandwich Month. It's like everything for every day, every month, every hour now.
I know, right?
It may
No,
be hard
actually,
you're reading it. I could use one of them right now.
yeah,
But
right.
you know, we participate as a developer and then the builder. So the process is this: a developer will buy the property, develop it, which means grading it, putting in the infrastructure, which is water, sewer, power, all that good stuff. That's what we call the horizontal construction. So the flat stuff, we put in the streets. And then the vertical is when it comes out of the ground. The people that build the homes, we call that the vertical. So the horizontal guys are what I do mostly, but then I also represent like Ryan Homes or Caruso Homes and V Homes. I represent a lot of builders because I will start here. It's not logical for them to have me keep going to make sure all, you know, I know all the facts and how it works. So the vertical people, the builders, they will be required by us to make sure we work with you. And they want to. They don't want to just plop in there. They have to, like, you know, assimilate with you as fast as possible because they're going to be your neighbors. So that's what everybody wants to do. So we, like last night, we had a Zoom meeting where we did a HOA board takeover because once you sell 75% of the houses in a neighborhood, it goes from the developer builder to the actual people who live there. So then you become in charge. So you have a president, you know, treasurer, all that good stuff, and you decide policies that govern your neighborhood. So that's really the way it works, and that's it's a good way to do it. So that's how that works. And you know, as community partners, corporate citizens, we always try to work with communities. So I work with Mel on stuff that he does with schools and food giveaways and stuff like that, because, you know, it takes a whole world to make everything work.
True.
But you know, we have, you know, we start here, but you know, we got to fit in the whole picture. I just wanted to make sure I said, you know, let you know what this is. And as we go through the process, you won't be surprised. You're not going to see anything out there happen for at least a year and a half. Because when we have a hearing, which won't be till like 3 months from now or so, they'll have to post signs all around the property on the public roads that say planning board hearing in 30 days. Now they've been Zoom all the time because of COVID.
Right.
Maybe by then it'll be live. They used to be live at the county administration building right up the street and up in Marlboro.
Okay.
Eventually, they're supposed to move to the Wayne K. Curry building up in Largo. But for now, they're all Zoom things, which to me is kind of easier. You don't have to drive everywhere. But
Yeah.
I don't care. So it's more efficient. You know, when I drive there, we have to sit in the audience while somebody else does their case for 2 hours. What am I supposed to do? So
Right. So this is way easier and more
I
efficient.
can sit in my office and just do whatever I got to do. I can just listen. So that'll happen. Everybody gets to testify. And weeks prior to that, I'll send you the staff report. So the Parkland Planning Commission will send you what they call a technical staff report that says the applicant filed an official plan amendment to convert it from a shopping center and apartments to some townhouses, and we recommend approval with conditions. These are the conditions, and this is our commentary, and it's really just as to the land use transformation. Then later on, we file what's called a subdivision plan, which is more illustrative of what you see here. You create the little lots. So everybody has a fee simple lot, which means you're owner occupied, versus condos, which is just one big parcel with a building. So then the subdivision plan creates every little lot. And then the detailed site plan is the vehicle that creates the picture, the pretty picture. Says, oh, this is a townhouse. It's this got this, that, deck, brick, all that good stuff. The landscape, and you actually visualize it 3D of what it's supposed to be. So that's kind of the final step. And then it goes to record the lots. Then you start grading. So that stuff takes at least a year or two. In this case, it'll be 2 years.
2 years before. So let me ask you this. How do you answer the question that it's the usual questions, right? There's more traffic.
Right.
There's obviously more people. There's
Mhm.
going to be more children, but
Yep.
there's no more schools. So how do you overcome that objection? Because that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at, I have a kid that's 10, which means that she is and still in elementary school at this moment, but
Mhm.
she's going to middle school. By the time you guys finish in middle school, she'll probably be what, 8th grade? It'll be overran with whatever moves in there with that. And not only that, but the I like the lines at the grocery store because they're not crowded. So
Mhm.
my point is, how do you answer those questions?
Could I jump in real quick?
Sure.
Vera, how you doing? My name is Paul Curling. I work with Prince George's County Department of Public Works and Transportation, the Office of Engineering and Project Management.
Okay, I know that office well.
Oh, okay.
Well, land development, you're a critical part of my job.
Excuse me?
In land development, I work with your department a lot.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, there's a lot of times that we get phone calls from neighborhoods that have added new developments such as this one in pre-existing neighborhoods. And we get a lot of phone calls after, of course, everything is done, once traffic starts to get a steady flow. And it seems like there's a lot of times when new developments like this arise, then it becomes a huge traffic issue. After looking at these plans here, I can already tell that 90%, if not more, of the traffic is going to be coming out onto what is that, Woodstock Drive?
Woodstock, yeah.
Yeah, because everybody's going to be heading west towards
301.
so I can already, and all the previous neighborhoods from on Woodstock Drive, and I'm looking at an aerial map of that right now, and there's already looks like maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 4 or 500 townhouses up in that direction already. So it seems like there's going to be a lot of traffic issues over that intersection of Heathermore and Woodstock Drive. And as Alexis was stating earlier, that that can create a huge issue, not just there, but around the surrounding neighborhoods with parking.
I'm sorry, Paul. I'd actually like to add on the Marlton Center Drive exit. When they come out of Marlton Center on that portion of Heathermore, it's just 2 lanes. It's not 4 lanes yet. So
Right.
Heathermore would need to be wider in order to support all of these new townhomes.
And that may happen. So to answer the traffic question, Paul, and all of you, that we have to do with the next step is a traffic study.
Correct.
The department is instrumental in reviewing that. So park and planning has a traffic section. You have a traffic management section. Renee, Lord Avatar, and all the people in his department. We would file a traffic study. So Heathermore Boulevard is a 4-lane arterial, and it's only 4 lanes to a certain point, as you pointed out.
Right.
Because nothing was here yet. Under the county code, under subtitle 23, the road code, you don't build a road unless you front on it. Now that we front on this road, this side of it, we have to build that side of it. So more than likely, we have to add lanes there. And then as to the intersections, we have to do intersection analysis. So the analysis is done at the peak hour, say 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then that's rush hour.
Yeah, when we do peak hour studies, we try to start it around maybe as early as 4 o'clock, maybe 4:30. So it's kind of like 4:30 to 7:30
for the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the morning, in the morning, probably as early as 6:30 to about 9:30. Those are our peak hour times. But like you were saying before, we would definitely have to widen Heathermore Boulevard. And in my professional opinion, I think adding traffic circles would probably have to be necessary due to the high amount of traffic. And we already have a lot of speeders on Heathermore Boulevard, especially going eastbound. A lot of people a lot of near accidents at Fairhaven and Heathermore Boulevard. People jumping around, the motorists turning right onto onto
Fairhaven.
So there's a lot of near head-on collisions. And as you already know, I'm sure you can see a lot of aggressive drivers in this county. So it's a recipe for a lot of accidents in that area. So like you said, I could speak with Renee too. He's also in one of my departments about possibly doing some kind of extra traffic calming measures in that area. Can't put speed bumps, of course, because like you stated, it's an arterial collector roadway. So possibly some traffic circles or some kind of deterrent, or, to hopefully slow down or calm traffic.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's a big problem. The economy is you have to have a road wide enough to support the amount of cars, but then it makes speed. So it's always there's two sides of that coin. But we have to do a traffic study that addresses traffic safety as well as capacity. And I know that road, I remember when we built that road way back in '93, we had to make sure it was sized to handle all the traffic that even wasn't built here. So even though this is new, it's not new in terms of the size of the road. So that road was built with this in mind. And just because it adds traffic today doesn't mean it wasn't planned for. It just didn't happen yet. So we had to build it, whatever the eventuality it came. But there are minor improvements that you have to make as you go along. There might be a turn lane, decel, accel lane, all that good stuff. That's what they'll tell us to do when we get down to that step in the process. But as to your other questions on what we call public facilities, so traffic's a huge component. So we have to do the full traffic analysis and all that. So nothing gets built in terms of us without the county saying you got to do X, Y, and Z, and without you guys' input. So I'll just put that on that because we're not there yet.
Okay.
But in terms of schools, there's two other issues with public facilities. So the county used to do tests for school capacity. So every school district had elementary, middle, high, and then they had seating capacity. So every development had to go through this test, like, well, what's the capacity now? And then the county school board said, well, 120% of capacity is what we call capacity. And then we had to go through these tests. And then we had to, give money to the school system. But then what happened was you could give $1 million to the school system. They're not obligated to spend it at that school.
Wow.
So it just goes in the general fund. It's up to the elected officials and the board to make the decision. That's where it goes. So we're like, why are we doing that? You don't even spend it where the school is. I could be at the school site and they would not put it there. So eventually what happened was the county went to a fee in lieu program. And that covers schools, covers police, it covers fire. So now we pay about $16,000 per house for schools and about $8,000 for a combined police fire fee, just flat out. They don't even ask questions where how much capacity there is. They'll do an analysis just for kicks, but they don't enforce that. And it's not my system. It's just that's been there for 10 years now. So you have to lobby your officials to say, well, if this development and that development, where's the money going? So
Exactly.
you just have to be participating in the system. But that answers the question on schools, police, and fire, because they have to take that aggregate total money. Like they're building a police station in District 5 now, because that was really bad. So the response time for police for 911, it was weird. The 911 calls were longer than non-911. It just, the way they tested it's like if you just had to drive by, then you were right there. So you could get the cat out of the tree. But if there was a break-in, it's different. So it's a whole lot of stuff that goes in the analysis. So they just take our money at the time of building permit. So the first building permit goes in there, we pay like $30,000. Each one, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30.
Right.
We don't pull just one, we'll pull like 15, 20, 30, and then they get it all at once. But then they have to put it in the county budget, and in December of every year, the county executive takes the money and figures out, well, where do I want to put it? So it's police, fire, schools, wherever it is, road improvement, maintenance, all that stuff is in the equation. And then the county council reviews it and they approve the budget every May. And that's where it really happens. But then that's just the budget. Then they have to give it to the line agencies and implement it. So it takes a while to filter down to where it's actually something that happened.
Wow.
It's all in the process that I go through. They'll say, you got 219 units, that's X this, and we'll go, okay. You know, you have to build this road. Okay, you have to build this, we got to deal with it.
Okay. Understood.
But we want to work with you. Like, I want to know, because you live there, like, it's that one right turn in the morning, if we don't know that by doing an antiseptic study, some dudes out there with a clipboard going, if
Right.
someone tells us what's happening, we can put that into our report.
Let me ask you this on that particular road that's backed up to, will it have a sidewalk?
Yes, all the roads have to have sidewalks.
Okay.
All right, so the townhomes will have one car garage and then they'll have a driveway for a second car?
No, he said 2 cars.
2-car garage with a 2-car driveway, so you could theoretically you could have 4 cars there.
Okay. And then that green area behind the new townhomes, I
Mhm.
know that's a dumping ground.
We'll have to clean all that up.
Well, it
Now, the
was.
county's supposed to do it. But the current owner could do it.
What was that?
The current owner, so we don't own it yet.
Oh, okay.
So we have it under contract. So, I'll note that there's always dumping where there's nobody there.
Yeah,
Down
we've
the
been
road,
complaining.
You'll find a couch, which is what happens.
Yeah.
Water heater, anything.
And it's
I-
usually, there's a trail between the couch and the guy's house is right next to it.
Right.
I'm telling you, they're not gonna lug it that far.
Right. There's a bunch of 18-wheeler tires too.
Tires are a big problem.
Yeah.
So
The
in
more
this case,
eyes on
how
there, the better.
I'm sorry, my signal was breaking in and out. So you said how many townhomes is this?
219 approximately,
219.
yes. On
Wow,
about,
and that's over 28 acres?
yes, which is the same density of house per acre as it is all around us.
So he's saying it's already like that.
It's the same as whatever you see there. It's just a bigger piece of property. So it sounds bigger, but it's just a bigger piece of property.
And each townhome is on how many acres of land?
Oh, the lot is around 2,000 square feet.
Yeah, it ain't no big lot.
Just, it just fits.
But you're gonna put 2 garages in there. I'm just trying to figure out. That sounds very condensed to me.
They know how to design it. I can only tell you.
Yeah, so and then on the map, it has places where it says amenities. And what would those type of amenities?
Right now, we would
Park.
put some open space, parks, maybe a little dog park, top lots. Because with townhouses, you have little children usually. So the county has rules like if you have this many units, you're gonna have this many little kids. And then they have tot lots, and then they have,
What is a top lot? What does that mean?
it's like swing set. They have
Okay.
these bouncy things.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I look at this little alley, which is where they're gonna have their trash, and the trash truck and the recycle truck has to fit through this alley. If they're taking up more than 4 parking spaces, I've seen in communities, people just start parking on the street.
Well, that's a violation. They have to park in the driveway or in a public road. And we size these alleys to fit a fire truck. So we have these little diagrams, believe it or not, where we have a truck, we have a diagram for a pumper truck, EMT, and police with a turning radius. And then we have the same kind of drawing for trash trucks. So they can go, because there's gonna be private trash collection here. So everybody's gonna put their trash out front and the recycling. And then they get all collected. So that it has to be designed so all the trucks will get in and out safely.
So, but no, the trash is in the back of the homes.
Yes. Well, yes, because it's the rear loaded, yes.
Yeah.
It won't be on a main road on like the front.
Right.
Yeah, it has to be on those gray roads. Internal, just like the other townhouses.
Okay.
It's just like the ones that are right next to it, actually. I mean, with the townhouses, they don't have two garages, but they do have, I mean, two slots for the 2-car garages, but they have 1 car. Like
Mhm.
at Center Parkway, Newtown Way, whatever, they have those rear garages. I don't know if you've been over there or know anybody over there, but my kid went to school here, so she knew pretty much. We went to parties everywhere. So yeah, those are like that. So I see. I'm interested to know how they plan. Now, how what you said the square footage of the townhouse was?
The biggest ones will probably be about 2,400 square feet finished. So that's 3 floors.
Okay, 3 floors. Okay. And the
And the
bottom
third floor
represents
is gonna
the
They
be,
might not have basements. We don't know yet.
oh, so they're not gonna have basements.
Probably not. The ones over there don't have basements, as far as I know.
Not all of them, no.
Yeah, it depends on the topo.
Yeah, if that means that it depends on how high it is or whatever, then yeah,
Yeah, we just can't dig a hole and put it in there for no reason.
right.
Excuse me.
part of the question is, when it comes to construction,
Yeah, it's gonna be.
again, Heathermore is our main artery in the community. And that's a lot of trees in that area right now.
And
Mhm.
they're gonna
So
take them
I'm
all
thinking
away.
about, say what, Alexis?
I was just saying they're gonna take them all away.
No, we
Yeah,
don't
they're
take
gonna-
it all away. We have to, there's what they call a forest stand delineation. So we have to count every tree and how big it is. And then some trees are what they call specimen trees. So if it's like this big around, we have to mark it. And we have to like, can't cut it down, we have to go around it. And then the other trees that are like smaller, or what we call scrub trees, they all go.
Right, right.
And then there's like anywhere between 5 to 20% of all the trees stay. That's a new law. Not new, it's probably about 15 years old. The state passed what's called the Woodland Conservation Ordinance. So that's part of our development plan. We have to count the trees, mark the trees. Each one actually has a little name,
Really?
maple, blah, 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 number 482. And then when we file a grading plan, that's all taken into account, but we can't just clear cut the site like the old days. Because it looks terrible.
It
So
does.
the duration of the project from the first unit to the last unit being
Yeah.
built.
He probably don't know that yet.
Well, generally, I just know in general. So towns right now are selling, so you can probably sell 4 to 5 a month. And so the grading part, the development part, where there's no homes, it'll take about a year or less. And then when they start coming up out of the ground, we can knock out a whole section within 6 months. So we could have all up within 2 years and gone and sold, depending on the market.
What about the road construction?
All the roads have to go in before we build the units.
Okay,
And the road, like Heathermore, if we have to widen Heathermore, that has to be in before we build any unit.
okay.
Yeah, because
I
I'm
mean,
like, there's a lot of heavy equipment that's gonna be on our main artery. That's
Yeah,
what I'm going with, the construction equipment that isn't in order to clear the area coming into the community, even if you leave it on the site. That's
Yeah,
heavy equipment on the roads. These roads are old.
but there's
And-
size to hold it. And if we damage a road, we have to fix it.
Right.
and all the water main breaks that we have, Lord forbid.
Right.
And the electrical grid. Oh, that's something. The electrical grid. The electricity goes out all the time. It doesn't even have to be a rain or wind or snow. It just goes out.
Well, we work with Pepco. This is Pepco, not BG&E. Depends. This will all be underground power.
Okay, that's good for them.
Yeah, the more underground it is, because otherwise with the hurricane and stuff, it knocks power lines off. That's why DC loses power, because a lot of stuff there is above ground.
Right, that's why we lose it.
True.
most of the time. Anyway, we got lucky. Sometimes we get lucky, sometimes we don't.
These
All right,
meetings- Wow.
did you have any other questions, Miss Regina?
What's the name of this community going to be? Do you guys have a name yet?
No.
I
We
was
could
gonna
put
say
it in the
embody
newsletter.
it.
We could put it as a competition. It's gonna be Marlton something.
Okay.
How about Marlton Center?
There you go. We call it Marlton Town Center.
Yeah,
Is that-
because I remember that it was supposed to be a community center and the senior center, a while back.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
this
that's what he
is
was
a
saying.
total change in direction from what the community was expecting to be built in this area.
right.
So we
We'll
definitely need to
take
talk with
input,
that.
sure.
Say it again, Mr. Riviera?
Take anybody's input that lives there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we plan on doing is because we recorded it, we'll just share it. And then we
Yeah.
have a meeting, we have a community meeting. Our quarterly meeting is on the what is it, the
September.
8th.
September 8th, 7 PM on Zoom.
Yes. So are you planning, because I will be bringing it up. Did you plan on attending?
I probably should.
You can sure show up.
That way, you don't have to interpret what I said tonight and remember all this.
Nope,
I can just blurt it out.
you sure can.
Yeah,
I will add it. I will add your name onto our little handy dandy guest list.
here it's the 8th and 3. I don't think I am.
I will send you the link.
Okay. So that is like pretty soon.
Yeah, it's next week, next Wednesday.
Okay.
Let me know now if you can do it.
All right, let me see.
And you know what? We can have a special session just for this. We can do that.
No, that's free for me.
Okay. 7. Okay. I will
There
add,
might still have to be a second session
Of
after the
course.
first one.
after you get over the
once-
shock.
Yeah, once more people hear about it,
Oh, it's coming.
it's
Oh,
gonna
it's
be.
coming.
People would say, well, that was supposed to be a park. Well, it's not. It's not owned
Nope.
by planning. It's just last in line.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
we want to make sure everybody knows before we do anything.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that with this awareness versus just coming in after, we got just hearings. So we appreciate the consideration for the
Yeah,
community.
that's true.
Yeah, you have to keep an eye on things. But the county is rezoning the whole county starting September 13th.
Yeah, we're aware and we're getting ready to get in those meetings.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
You have to sign up to speak by, I think, the 9th of September or something.
I'm glad you said that. You have to sign up to speak by the 9th?
Yeah, there's, let me find that website. Let's see, countywide.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off, Alexis. If
Okay.
he can't find it, I have that information at home.
Oh, okay, good. That's
and I
fine.
can provide it to you.
Yeah. Give it to me. I gotta put it in the newsletter.
I'll
Okay.
find it and send it to you.
Okay. All right.
All right,
Paul,
thank
did you have any other? Okay. Good night, Ms. Regina. Paul, did you have any other input, questions?
No, not at the moment. Maybe at our next meeting, I'll have something. But thank you
Okay.
for the information, Ms. Rivera.
You're welcome, man. You got my email now, so anytime you think about it, just hit me.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I appreciate you sharing this with me. Can you do me a favor? And you still looking at the screen? Can you
Yes.
send me that first one that I didn't get? This the
Oh, yeah, I'll see that again. I don't know why it didn't
I don't
come
know why
through.
that didn't pop up. It's nothing there. So if you
'Cause I
could send
saw it
that.
online before I sent it to you, but oh, well, I'll send it again. And I'll
That's
send it
fine.
with the concept thing, the countywide map amendment thing.
Okay. All right.
Sure.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Have a
Thank you
good
all.
evening.
All right.
You too. Bye-bye.
Oh.